Picture. Hold on. Will this one show? Okay. Hey YouTube, I am Damian Moody. I also go by Kashmere Majesty or Red Riding Hood, and I'm pretty sure y'all could tell by my background that yes, I will be doing the Kashmere read session, and the book that I will be reading is To Selena with Love by Chris Perez. Now, usually a lot of I have a mixture between hardcovers and paperbacks. While for whatever reason I prefer the hardcovers better. I don't really mind too many paperbacks because like I said, some of these books are paperbacks, and I have the paperback version. Um, I had the commemorative edition. It says includes new photos and bonus material. And once again, this is To Selena with Love by Chris Perez. And this is the front of the book. It's a beautiful picture of Selena Quintanilla Perez. And this is her husband, Chris Perez. Well, actually, this is a picture. Hold on. Damn. What the hell? You know what? Hold on. All right. So that's a picture of him. This is a picture of them together. Now, let me get back into my background, which is a picture of Selena and her father, Abraham Quintanilla. They are both deceased. Abraham died recently, and we all know Selena died back in the 1990s. And this book is a book in memory to her from her husband. And it says one of the most compelling and adult or superstars in Latin music history. Selena was nothing short of a phenomenon who shared all of herself with her millions of devoted fans. Her tragic murder at a young age of 23 stripped the world of her talent and boundless potential. Her tightly knit family of her beloved of their beloved angel and her husband Chris Perez of the greatest love he had ever known. For over a decade, Chris held on to the only personal thing he had left from his late wife, the touch and sometimes painful memories of their very private bond. Now, for the first time, Chris opens up about their unbreakable friendship, forbidden relationship, and blossoming marriage, which were cut short by Selena's unforgivable death. Chris's powerful story gives a rare glimpse into Selena's sincerity and vulnerability when falling in love, strength and conviction when fighting for that love, and absolute resilience when finding peace and normalcy with her family's acceptance of the only man she called her husband, while showcasing a side of Selena that has never been disclosed before and clarifying certain misconceptions about her life and death. To Selena with Love is an everlasting love story that immortalizes the heart and soul of an extraordinary, unforgettable, and irreplaceable icon. Now, I believe this is the only book Chris did about Selena. I'm pretty sure that he has children. I believe he has married um or been in different relationships, but this is a beautiful book dedicated to his wife. This book was done in what, 2012? Yeah, 2000, between 2012 and 2013. The hardcover was done March 6, 2012. The paperback was done November 5th, 2013. And I had the paperback. Let's get into the story. I can't erase this lonely heart that keeps on remembering. Every day I live with you and with all the things we'll never do. Heaven holds a place for souls like mine. Try to leave my troubled path behind. You know it's so damn hard letting go, standing here, holding my heart in my hands. Yes, I am trying to live every day the best I can. And that's lyrics from Best I Can by the Chris Perez Band. Prologue. A year after writing to Selena with love, I discovered an old letter from Selena. It was stashed in a little plastic bag with some photographs, but I immediately recognized the line yellow paper she used to write on. The paper was folded, and on the outside, she written, I love you, Chris, in her beautiful handwriting. When I realized what it was, my heart started racing. I was with other people at the time, so I didn't want to read the letter right away. I knew the sight of Selena's words on the page would send me reeling back in time again. I waited until I was alone that night before I finally unfolded those precious sheets of yellow paper. Selena had written a letter in late 1991 during the tough time in our relationship. I had been in Selena's band for a while, and we had fallen in love. Then her father discovered our relationship and tried to banish me from the band and from his daughter's life forever. There was a lot of times he tried to banish Chris from the band from what the movie says. Um, he destroyed the hotel room at one point, if y'all remember the movie. Instead of being able to see each other nearly every day while we toured with the band, Selena and I now had to be apart most of the time. I was playing in two other bands on weekends, and the two of us lived in different cities. Neither of us had cell phones back then, so we couldn't communicate easily or often. Selena was afraid I was falling out of love with her. That wasn't true, of course, but it was difficult to reassure her of my commitment when we hardly saw each other. I was right about Selena's letter transporting me back to that place in time. It let me hear her voice clearly again as the letter took me back to that crazy year before we eloped. Here's what she wrote to me. Hi, love, what's up? Nothing much here. I'm just hanging around here thinking about you like always, and of course, wishing you were here right now. You know I could use one of your beer hugs right this very moment. Man, right this very minute, sorry. I just wish that you could talk or open up to me a little more. But I guess that is my fault for always getting upset for something. And I'm sorry, babe. I guess sometimes I can be selfish, and I realize that because I know that I'm used to getting what I want most of the time, which is not too good because I know that it's the Same for you. I guess I just had to learn to be more mature about our relationship in order for it to grow stronger. I'm sorry for freaking you out about wanting to get married, but I guess I'm feeling you out trying to figure out how much you love me. It's kind of stupid, but ever since you've been going from the band and I don't talk to you as much because of my phone being disconnected, I feel like you don't want me as much as I still want you. Does that make sense to you? It scares me that I'm going to fight to be with you, and in the end you are going to wind up telling me you no longer want to be with me and you found someone else. I mean, you found someone new. It would devastate. I don't know if that's spelled right. Me, if that were to happen, I know couldn't handle it. I need you in my life, Chris. I love you so much that it hurts for me to be apart from you. I can't run to you because you're not here to hold me. But I better let you go because I'm going to start crying again. But I do love you despite all the confusion I feel right now. So please bear with me, love. Remember, I'll always and forever love you, and I miss you more as every second goes by. I love you always, Selena. I had expected to relive my grief when I read the letter, but instead my sorrow was mixed with joy and peace. I finally felt happy seeing Selena's words because the letter let me have that part of her again that she once gave me. That's the moment I realized that writing this book and having it to be generously received by Selena's fans helped me reach a new level of peace in my life. I first decided to write to Selena with love because grief had kept me from truly moving forward. I had put one foot in front of the other without really progressing in my life. Once I finally started putting some of my memories on paper, I realized that I had boxes and boxes of baggage I hadn't dealt with after Selena's death. It was time for me to dust them off and sort through them. I did this partly for myself, but also to show my gratitude to Selena's fans for all of the support they gave her in our band while she was alive. To her fans, it's clear that Selena wasn't just a talented, beautiful woman. She was a down to earth person who worked hard for her success in the male dominated music industry. Well, that's by the looks of it because I didn't know who Selena was until the movie came out. And like many people who passed away before I knew who they were, I quickly became a fan. Now I may have heard, now I don't know, I might have heard her music on the radio or something, but I didn't know. But like I said, I didn't know who she was until watching Jennifer Lopez portray her, and then I seen pictures and stuff like that. From that point on, I became a Selena fan, and then I was young, like that was the 1990s. When Selena hit the music scene, she started opening doors for other performers, not just in Latin music, but in the mainstream world too. Performers like Jennifer Lopez, Shakira, and Beyonce, who has talked about what it meant for her to meet Selena at the Gallery Mall in Houston when she was young, have all paid homage to Selena's influence. I knew on some level how popular Selena was, of course, but when she passed away, the outpour of love and support we got from the fans stunned me. I wasn't prepared for that. Her fans have continued to keep Selena's memory alive, and I am grateful to them for that. Of course, Selena and Beyonce both being from Texas, that's probably how Beyonce got a chance to meet her, or at least see her. And then they end up putting it in a movie or something on Netflix. Um, yeah, by writing our story, I wanted to give something back to them. I hope to shine a different light on Selena and show her fans who she really was off stage as a daughter, friend, and loving wife. I also wanted to write this book as a way of setting straight some of the rumors flying around after her death. For instance, a lot of people had heard that Selena and I were having problems in our marriage. Others had heard she might have been pregnant when she died. And to Selena with love, I hope to finally explain things in my own way and tell the truth as I lived it. I was nervous during the process of getting the words down on paper, but ultimately, by the time the book was ready for publication, I felt satisfied that I had treated Selena and her family with the respect and dignity they deserve. I hope Selena fans would feel the same way, but I couldn't be sure. My first book signing was held at a Barnes and Noble bookstore in Houston, Texas. I was shocked not only by the presence of so many fans, the line literally went out the door and around the corner, but by their generous comments about the book and the passion they obviously still felt for Selena and her music. As I promoted the book over the next year, I was surprised and touched over and over again by the loyalty of Selena fans. Sometimes we pull into a city and pass a building with a big line in front of it, and I say, "Wow, what's going on over there?" Only to be told that the line was made up of people waiting for me to sign their books. I remember one supermarket in Laredo, Texas, where I was supposed to sign books for 2 hours, but it took me five. The supermarket staff was wonderful, handing out bottles of water to the people waiting in the sun. I made sure to get to the last person in line. If Selena fans were going to show that kind of love, it was the least I could do. Damn. I've been telling myself I want to go to Texas, but actually, I want to go where Selena shot the No Me Queda Más video. I want to go to the church. Well, actually, I want to go to all the locations that she shot some of her videos, but that video is, well, actually, that's one of my favorite songs in my favorite music videos from her. And I would love to go to that location. It was always worth it, too. Many people would come up to me and break down in tears saying how much they miss her. It felt good to share those moments with them, hugging them and thanking them for helping me remember Selena. Many thank me, too, for offering them glimpse of the Selena they didn't know. The private Selena, the one who loved dogs and motorcycles and cooking, the woman who happily decorated her bedroom with an aquarium headboard but was terrified of snakes. Even Selena's family has offered their support of this book, something I am extremely grateful to have. We went through a lot together. Not long after the book was published, Selena's brother AB surprised me with a late night phone call. It was weird because I hadn't heard from him in a long time. "Hey, what's going on?" AB said, just like we were still talking every day. "Nothing. What's up with you?" I answered, "I was just thinking of the old days and missing you." AB said, "I hope I get to see you again." "Yeah, me too," I said, but I was still puzzled. Why would AB suddenly call me in the middle of the night? He soon told me why as we kept talking. AB said he had been wandering around in a Walmart. The next thing I know, I looked up and there's your book on the shelf. So, of course, I had to pick it up and start reading it. The book led us to have a nice heart to heart talk for the first time in what felt like forever. Writing to Selena with love has propelled my life forward in so many positive ways. I feel like I'm finally finding a new normal. Sharing my stories about Selena has given me a fresh sense of freedom to move on and concentrate on music. Selena and I first fell in love partly because of our shared love of music. So I know this is what Selena would have wanted me to do. Currently, I'm working on a CD of rock music in both Spanish and English with songwriter and producer Emilio Estefan, whose wife Gloria was one of Selena's biggest inspirations. We met Gloria in Alamo when we were first married and attended the same music awards, and I know Selena would approve of me working on this album. Emilio is such a hardworking, nice guy that makes me want to be a better person, just like Selena did. Selena and I often talked about having children together. Before being with her, I was young and selfish. My life was all about me. I mean, we all go through that. But Selena made me understand what joy there is in working hard to make the person you love happy. For instance, I had to learn to accept that Selena was always going to be pulled in many directions because she was juggling her father, her career, and her love for me. I constantly felt like I was walking on a fence and trying not to fall off on either side. I was often thrust into things I didn't want to be part of, like having to occupy, excuse me, like having to accompany Selena to interviews or photo shoots when nobody else wanted to go because we were all tired from traveling. For Selena, I would do it. All I had to do was look at her and watch how hard she worked. And I put a smile on my face and go. I knew it was the right thing to do because of how happy Selena was whenever I went with her. Seeing her joy made me feel it too. I know I'm a better father because Selena taught me how to be generous and love. Today, my kids are the source of light and inspiration. My daughter Cassie, now 14, recently chose to read to Selena with love for a school project. It was strange for me to see her reading it, of course, because even though she's a young lady who's growing up fast, Cassie will always be my baby, but I'm glad to share that part of my life with her. Through social media, I've been able to continue communicating with Selena's fans long after I was finished with book signings. One of the most important ways I've been able to reach out is to support people who have written to me after reading the book because they've lost a wife or another family member. I heard from people raw with grief because of losing loved ones to gun violence, accidents, domestic violence, and illnesses. I remember one young fan in particular who contacted me on Facebook soon after the book first came out to ask how I kept going after Selena died. The girl was waiting for her high school, at her high school for her boyfriend to pick her up. So she went and had to walk home alone. The next thing she knew, someone came to tell her he'd been shot. Her boyfriend was dead as a result of gang violence. How do you move forward? She asked me. I'm having trouble dealing with this. What could I tell her? Only the truth. Because of what I went through, I know how difficult it is to lose someone you love. Give yourself time. I said, you're going to grieve and go through your ups and downs. Grief never completely goes away, but it eventually becomes a part of you instead of controlling your life. That message struck home once again when Jenny Herrera, a dear friend, was killed in a tragic plane accident in Mexico. Just before she died, I had gone to the studio in Los Angeles to record a song for her upcoming movie, Philly Brown. about a girl who wants to be a rap artist. Jenny played the girl's mother who was trying to make amends for her mistakes from behind bars. Like Selena, Jenny is more than just a talented singer. She was an amazing inspiration to millions of people because of the way she lived her life so generously out in the open, serving as a role model for many, many fans. When I first got the phone call about Jenny had died in a plane crash, I was a little bit like, it was a little bit like everything happened with Selena. I didn't want to believe the rumors. I kept saying, hell no, don't tell me something this stupid. Despite the fact that I already knew from my own life that people die in tragic ways, I wasn't prepared for another loss. When you're a child and you first start hearing about people dying in accidents or being murdered, it seems like it could never happen to you or to anybody you know. As you get older, you realize that death, whether it's sudden or tragic or expected after a long illness, happens to all of us. It is always a loss. You can't predict your fate or control what happens. The real gift lies in being able to appreciate the love you have while you have it. No, we only have a short time on earth because we must say goodbye. If a fortune teller had told me back when I was 20 years old that falling in love with Selena would end and me losing her the way I did, would I still have married her? Absolutely. For as long as I live, the day Selena died, March 31st, 1995, will always be a painful day. But I would do it all over again in a heartbeat for Selena. Damn, that's crazy. What is it about March? Because I've been reading a lot of stuff. People like, and the stuff I've been reading, people birthdays was in March. Their death date was probably in March for some reason. And it's like I know these people, but I forgot they actual death day or whatever. But a lot of the stories would be incidents that happened in March. That's crazy. But so that was to Selena with love. And I have a tag for my shirt. It's a picture of Aaliyah. I'm going to put this in my Selena book. And as we know, Aaliyah is another person who died tragically. She died in a plane crash in 2001. Um, so that was To Selena with Love by Chris Perez. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll get back to you on the next one.